Hi, you guys. Welcome back. Welcome back to another week, another round, another paycheck in all of our pockets. I'm still going to claim that for you and for me. Welcome back to another episode of Life is a Trip podcast. I am your host, Andrea, or Drea if you butcher the A-N, or Drea of my name. How y'all doing? Y'all good? Yeah, I hope so. Okay, I'm for real, for real. We gonna be in and out today. I ain't gonna keep y'all. I know you got stuff to do. I'm gonna keep it real quick. Just put a little something in your pocket. So, for those of you that are not familiar, there's a show currently on called Married at First Sight. And something was brought up last week about the newest season that started. One of the girls on the newest season, you know, she's lively, bubbly, personality, awesome. Everything's good, right? So of course, people hate to see you smiling, don't they? You smile a little too hard. Motherfuckers want to start pulling stuff up from 1991. So this is a little bit of maybe what's going on. I don't know, but it brings me to the topic that I wanted to ask you guys about. So pretty much the if you haven't seen the show or heard of this show, the premise of the show is we take two people, they've never met each other, don't know each other's names, don't know anything about each other, and their first time meeting is at the altar. And the whole show is watching these two interact as a newly married couple, but also newly introduced, like they're complete strangers and they're married. So it's a shit show. But anyway, you have had some success stories out of it. People falling in love, having children, all that stuff. So it's not completely crazy. It does work in some cases, but for the most part, you have a lot of shit shows. Anyway, that's to give you guys background. So new season starts. One of the girls, I think her name is Michaela, and we're in like maybe episode 2 of the new season that she's in, and pretty much she just got married to her husband. They show the bachelor party, bachelorette party, all that stuff. And so during the bachelorette party, she kind of let the other girls that are in the experiment know, you know, I just had to cut off, you know, my cutting off of the extra randoms, and doing hard air quotes with the randoms, meaning she was out there dating. Because for what it's worth, the participants in this show, they don't know that they've been chosen like until 2 weeks before they start shooting. 2 weeks. The production, they let them know, you know, we found a match for you. In 2 weeks, you're going to get married and blah, blah, blah. So that's as much of a heads up as they possibly can. Now, during the interim, while they're living their, you know, daily lives, I'm sure they're still dating people. They're still in there. If they are in, you know, situationships or whatever the case, everything isn't always cut and dry. And so they're actively still out there because they don't know if they've made the show. They don't know if the show has found a match for them. So naturally, you are still putting yourself out there. You are still seeing what's good with the people. You feel me? So she going back to what she was saying, she let the people know, you know, I recently had to cut off my little, you know, little side, little something. And she told, the way that she cut it off was she let him know I was selected to be on the show. Now, going back to what I just said, they tell you 2 weeks before that you have been selected to be on the show. And here's where the issue comes in. I'm assuming with the masses. For decades, women have been looked upon as, you know, kind of not the sexual beings, and you know, you got to be in love to have sex, and casual sex is just not our bag. And if it is, we are labeled with so many derogatory terms, and we're whores and hoes and just sex workers, whatever the fuck people want to call women that enjoy sex outside of a committed relationship. That's what we're labeled as. Whereas, you know what I'm about to make a comparison to, men. Men are never held to the same standards when it comes to that. Although, as human beings, we're sexual. It just is what it is. Man or woman, we're sexual. We have working genitalia. We have working emotions and feelings that are attached to said genitalia. We're sexual. It just is what it is. So because she presumably got rid of old boy 2 weeks before the show started, everyone's up in arms. Like, how dare you go on this show when you just had a sexual partner 2 weeks prior? And here's where my question to you comes in. As far as a cooling off period, doing hard air quotes here, as far as a cooling off period goes, when do you stop? Because if you've found someone that you say you're actively dating multiple people, and going back to what I was saying about different dating terms, dating doesn't always necessarily include sex, but for conversation's sake, let's just say that this does. You're actively dating, you're having sex with one or two of the people that you're dating. It's all in the process of elimination, right? But you just haven't made a decision. You are currently enjoying all of the dates that you're going on. You're enjoying the two people that you're having sex with. It is what it is. You're still a single man or woman. So let's say you meet somebody just out the blue and you're like, whoa, where did you come from? Like, you got my heart feeling some kind of way. I want to see where this goes with you. Some people come out of nowhere like that. I've had it happen. Hey, I am one of those people. You don't know when I'm gonna come. knock your emotions square off your feet. So anyway, I'm just fucking with y'all, but kind of. But no, you don't know when you'll have this like electric connection with someone all of a sudden, just out the blue. It happens all the time. So do you give yourself a cooling period in between that? Or do you just let them know, hey, I was out here in these streets, and you kind of go from there? Like, I guess I talked before on this podcast about being emotionally available. And the reason why I think you should be, or give yourself time to become emotionally available, is because I feel like when you hop from person to person to person, you don't give yourself a chance to regroup and reset your batteries. And it's kind of doing a disservice to the new person that's swept you off your feet and came in with this electricity, because for all intents and purposes, I just said that, huh? For all intents and purposes, they're clear on their end. I'm going to assume so. They're clear on their end. They're emotionally available and ready to start something serious with someone. And you may very well be too, but you have a team right now that you've been going out, you've been spending your time with, in some ways getting emotionally involved if you're having sex with two of them or whatever. So it's like, at what point is your time to reset and recharge? When does that come? And so I guess that's outside of Michaela, going back to the show, outside of her being a woman, where I think that's where most of the rage is coming from. Oh, how dare a woman have casual sex? How dare she not be married having casual sex? How dare she be out here living her life before this show started? And how dare she not stop dating after she signed an application to be on the show? It's like, life doesn't necessarily work like that for everybody. Some people can go days, months, years without having sex. Some people can't. It's all a personal preference. She happens to have been one of those people that were sexually active while she was dating. There's nothing wrong with that. If you were a dude doing the same thing, there's nothing wrong with that either. But when it comes to bringing in a serious relationship, at what point do you push the brakes and kind of get recentered so you can be the best version of yourself for this new person that has come into your world and rocked your shit. You know what I mean? Like, when do you come back around and kind of cool off on everything that you've just went through, be it emotional or not? And furthermore, if it wasn't emotional, I guess my question would come in to this person, like, why is it so easy for you to emotionally detach from people? Because I feel like even with casual sex, there's some level of emotion that's attached to it. A lot of people, oh, I could fuck without emotion, I could do this. Like, you're still human. At the end of the day, I don't buy that from anybody. I don't give a damn who you are. There's still some type of emotion that's being I don't know if exerted is the right word for this. It definitely isn't, but we're going to use it for now. I don't know if the emotion that's being exerted is, I don't know. I feel like, because in my mind, I'm thinking, sex work. People can compartmentalize when they're doing sex work, but I feel like in some way, a little pinch, there's a little piece of emotion that goes into it as well, because again, you're human, and there's something in the human body, in the human chemistry that relates to another human being especially when you're bringing sex into the equation. So I feel like at some point, if you're looking to be serious with somebody, at some point, I feel like you need a cooling off period to reset and recharge your batteries before you attempt even to get into a serious relationship with anybody, because you're still kind of in this temporary, I'm doing me, I'm out here mindset. You feel me? And with that type of mindset, you're not focused on one person. You're not focused on a committed relationship at that moment, because you're thinking solely about yourself. You're thinking about the pleasure of yourself at that point. And as we all know, with relationships, you can't go in thinking like that. You have to switch your mindset and now think of the other person. You have to include them into, your everyday life. And with said relationship, there's a lot of compromise. There's a lot of, it's a lot of selflessness that goes into being in a relationship. And I feel like when people don't give themselves a pause or just a break real quick from the not to say that dating is chaos. I'm thinking of a lot of the wrong words, but the rigmarole of dating, you have to, get a little break in to retrain and refresh your mind and have a different mindset. Because if you go into a relationship with that same, oh, it's about me, I'm out here, what feels good to me is it, your relationship isn't going to be successful, because you have to, I don't know why one would get into a relationship if you want to keep that mindset. And that's okay if you keep that mindset, because why not? Do for you. Be selfish. Some people are in that season right now where it's all selfish, and that's fine. But don't bring anybody else into it if you're not willing to compromise, if you're not willing to share, if you're not willing to think about the other person in any capacity. A relationship isn't for you. So I don't know. What do you guys think about a cooling off period? Like, do you give yourself a cooling off period? I definitely go years in between relationships. Kind of my fault, kind of not my fault, but just because y'all know me, I love being alone. My solitude, that's my joy. So I feel like in between relationships, it's just, I need time, just a pause in between. Let me get back to me real quick so you can get the full Andrea experience and not just a piece of me, because I'm still kind of healing from what I previously just came out of. Yeah, I'm gonna stop it right there just so I can get you guys' thoughts on that. What's your cooling off period? Do you have a cooling off period? Do you feel that there is a need for one, or What you thinking about? All right, you guys, I want you to have an awesome week ahead. If you want to connect with me throughout the week, make sure you hit up Life is a Trip Pod on all social media. If you want to send any topic suggestions, questions, whatever, you can send me an email at lifeisatrippod@gmail.com. Or if you want to see this mug talk shit live in direct in your face as I record the episodes, you could become a patron at patreon.com/lifeisatrip, and you can see this episode as well as all the other episodes I've recorded. And we are up to 47, I want to say, almost 50 bonus episodes. So every week you get this episode as well as a bonus episode, and you can see what I've been up to, what I'm thinking about, random snippets, whatever the case. You can check it out on Patreon. I hope you guys have a good week ahead and do something today that your future self will be proud of you for, okay? I'll talk to you guys next week.